Welcome to a brand new episode of Picking Up the Pixels RPG Love. I'm your host, Boston, and joining me as always is Musum.
Hello.
Real quick plug here for our Patreon page over at patreon.com/e1m1 or e1m1.cash. $5 a month is the recommended one. Gets you all the exclusive, uncensored, behind-the-scenes, early access, all that great stuff over there. Highly recommend it. I know I'm a little partial. I'm a little biased, but I think it's pretty good over there. So go check it out. Musum, what have you been playing this past month?
So I was debating about starting with the one new thing or starting with Life is Strange cast. And I think we'll start with Life is Strange cast.
Okay.
So when we left off, I was playing the original Life is Strange game. I'd already beaten Before the Storm.
Mm-hmm.
Beating Life is Strange, I definitely ugly cried a couple times.
Sure.
That was
That's just gonna happen.
yeah, that's a painful game to get through. It's weird contrasting this main game with Before the Storm because they're just some of the characters are different in a way that I'm not so sure about. Like the things you hear about Rachel Amber doing in this game don't line up with who you got to know in last game.
Sure.
But I know that's also kind of part of the point of her character is just, oh, this person you thought you knew surprised you.
Yeah.
I think the part that takes me out of it the most is, and this is a minor-ish spoiler for both games. In Before the Storm, you have a drug dealer named, oh shoot, I thought his name would come back to me. It doesn't matter. So there's a drug dealer that lives in a camper, right?
Oh, right.
I keep wanting to call him Mike. His name isn't Mike. I can't. No. Oh, well.
It's something like that. It's like a normal dude name.
Yeah. And then Before the Storm, he's kind of like he's not necessarily a nice guy, but he's a nicer guy than the main game.
Right.
But there is one point where like you have a confrontation with him and the drug dealer, like Chloe and Rachel do in the junkyard. And it, somewhat ends with Rachel grabbing a giant 2x4 and hitting that guy's friend in the head with it.
Right.
And then you get to Life is Strange, and it turns out they had been hooking, like her and the camper drug dealer guy had been hooking up. And camper drug dealer guy is just personality wise is way different in Life is Strange. Until you figure out he dated her, and then you can actually get something out of him. But he is way more violent and volatile. And granted, I could see how like some of the events could bring him to that. It's just all that stuff is weird.
It's like too wild of a swing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other things I noticed, and I've just noticed this, like I'm going to talk about like 4 Life is Strange games this cast.
Okay.
So it is what it is. There's a new game after. Stick with me, gang. Like I've realized that the thing I criticized Reunion for all the games do, which is every area has a sit and think spot.
Right.
And granted, that said, I think Before the Storm and the first Life is Strange do better on. You just went through an intense story moment, and now we're going to kind of force you into one of those spots for a moment, as long as you want to stay in it. Whereas I think Reunion may not handle those the best in terms of pacing. But it's there are a lot more flaws, I think, in the original games than I was originally realizing. But they are still just amazing and absolutely tragic games.
Yeah.
So into Life is Strange 1, I did what I did when it came out, 10, 15 years ago, whenever that was, 20 years ago.
Oh, boy.
And I saved Chloe. So that destroys Arcadia Bay.
Yep.
And then I launched up Double Exposure.
Okay.
I should have gone back and listened to the Game Club episode we did on it, so I could try and hone in on why I felt the way I did at the time on Double Exposure. I think Double Exposure is still a flawed game, and I don't think there's any world where it was ever going to be as good as Before the Storm or the first game.
Right.
But going into it, there is so much like pieces of it that directly reference like minor things in the first two games
Okay.
that I'd completely forgotten about. And unfortunately, I didn't write down a lot of those examples, but there are things like someone makes a joke about this happening, and then Chloe says, "Oh yeah, that did happen," and then you think it's a joke in Double Exposure, but if you play the originals, you're like, "Oh wait, that actually did."
Oh, okay.
Like weird little minor things, not like major plot points. I think Max as a character in Double Exposure makes way more sense to me now too, after having that refresher and seeing the DNA.
Okay.
I think we're Double Exposure, and I don't know the solution to this. From what I gather, looking on the Life is Strange community on Reddit, this seems to be some people like it enough, and a lot of people feel it's a serious misstep, like we did. And they all have like their theories and reasonings, and I didn't read into them too much. But I think the issue is that Safi is a problem. like
Sure. Yep.
like the first Life is Strange game, the person you're trying to save is Chloe, and Chloe is incredibly charismatic. She is not sabotaging everyone in her life actively. She's just sabotaging her parents.
Right.
Like
And
you'd
she's like
expect that
this
out of it.
she's like this force of nature that you can
Yeah.
understand why Max is kind of attracted to, whether that's romantically or in a friendship way. There's something magnetic about Chloe that you're like, yeah, I kind of like Chloe's a bit of a mess, but she really does love Max and she really does want to be a great friend. She just has trouble like getting out of her own way sometimes.
Yeah. Like when Chloe does something wrong, she is like, stealing money or borrowing a car she shouldn't, or
Right.
like teenager, like middle class hoodlum
Yeah,
light
exactly.
stuff. And when Safi does it, she is ruining the lives of, of all of the staff in the college.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to frame this. Well, okay, I shouldn't immediately go into spoilers for a game that's just a year old,
Well,
so
but
I will
also
stop
like
there. But
also my problem with Safi is when you meet Chloe originally and you see the relationship that Max and Chloe have, that feels natural and that feels believable. When you're introduced to Safi, she's fine, but it always felt like Max and Safi were like work colleagues.
yeah,
And there was always, I don't know if there's I don't know if this was on purpose, but kind of no matter what decision you choose in Double Exposure based on what how you're saying the first game ended, it always kind of felt like Safi couldn't hold a candle to the relationship that Max and Chloe had. Whether
yeah,
Max and Safi were trying to be romantic or not, I kind of still maybe don't know, but it just there wasn't that same level of like, well, of course they're together. Why wouldn't they be? I don't.
yeah,
There's just something missing.
yeah. It's they really like Reunion has. It's a better game than Double Exposure, and we'll get to that in a minute. But
Sure.
I think it's both Double Exposure and Reunion. I feel like made a checklist out of the first game and tried to apply it.
Mm-hmm.
And that had pros and cons to it.
Sure.
I I think Caledon. I should have written down a
Caledon,
college
I
name.
think it
It's
is.
something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I think it's an all right setting.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of kind of weak side characters, I forgot the kid's name. He drives me a little nuts. Okay,
Is
well,
he
I'm
the
talking about it.
receptionist guy?
Oh, no, that's Vin.
Okay.
Vin is, honestly, I kind of like Vin, even though he's kind of a bad person.
He's like
Like,
he's like the office villain that you like to hate. Of like, this dude works in my office and he kind of like, sure, he does a good job, but he kind of sucks, and like maybe he could work harder and he gossips too much, but okay, like, sure. But I kind of
yeah,
hate him.
yeah. He's a like I kind of almost want to do a playthrough where you romance him in that game just to
Yeah,
see the changes in double exposure and reunion.
right.
I think the other problem with double exposure is it very much is geared up to like once you play reunion, while reunion is definitely like kind of a direct sequel to it in a way it's not, but there's still a pair of games where I don't think double exposure works well without reunion. Um,
Okay, they kind of complement each other and like finish each other's
yes,
story.
yeah. I mean, they reunion really finishes, in my opinion, Max and Chloe's story forever. Like whatever choices you make there.
Okay,
But that said, I think double exposure upon replaying does feel kind of like half a game. And while
sure.
they gave up on a chunk of their plot points, um, which was kind of weird. Like there definitely is like you can see between double exposure and reunion there was a oh maybe we should and I don't know maybe this is conjecture. Maybe they didn't have time to. These games came out a year apart, but um, I very much kind of felt like oh maybe we should rethink some of these plot lines we were laying out because like
Mm.
they have this whole thing where they have a character named Diamond. And I'm trying to think of how I can talk around this. Let's just say at the end of the game, Diamond goes off with Safi, right? Like, I don't
Okay,
think that's a major spoiler.
sure.
And Diamond is not in Reunion.
Okay, okay.
like, like Safi shows up, Diamond does not. Like you
Interesting.
hear about Diamond occasionally, and like I think you get a phone call or something near the end, but it's
It feels a lot like we have to pare this stuff down to get to the point we're trying to get
yes,
to.
yes.
Okay.
It also kind of felt like they had a smaller budget for Reunion,
Right.
honestly, in a lot of ways, just with their characters they had and such. Um, so, what I want to say. So the first time I played Double Exposure, like I went with Chloe dead. This time I went with Chloe alive because that's just how I'm running,
Mm-hmm.
and it's it's so weird. Like you get all these old text conversations between Max and Chloe because they had broken up, I guess, years ago or something like
Right.
that. Um, and you're still on each other's, I forget what they call it. They call it like MetaBook or something like that, like the
It's
social
something like
media
that.
site.
Yeah.
And Chloe and Victoria Chase are like commenting on each other's
Oh,
posts.
that's weird. Okay.
Um, yeah, it is. It's very, very strange. The uh, I'm sorry, I'm glancing through my notes. Um, the you get some journal entries too of Max talking about kind of the breakup and how devastating it was, and
Mm.
like there's a lot of back reading that they don't necessarily talk about in the game,
Sure.
um, and I don't know, I found it incredibly fascinating. Um, there are, I think, after going through all this, there's some parts to like in Double Exposure, but it's not a game that can ever stand. Reggie, that's the guy's name I was trying to think of earlier.
Reggie.
Reggie annoys me.
Right. Yeah. He's a little bit like you got to get yourself together, man. You're just kind of a little sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is a he's this weird he feels like he should be like this nerdy hot mess, and yet he's a really popular guy. Like his whole
Yeah.
everything about him confuses me. He's a little entertaining, but he does annoy me.
Yeah.
I don't like the picture taking mechanics and double exposure. Like I get, like I'm glad they tried. I feel like I could never take a cool picture.
Yeah.
uh, it just wasn't
Well,
particularly
and
great.
it felt part of the reason why I liked the picture taking stuff in the original game is you got to see the world through Max's artistic style. And such a big part of her personality and like the core of who she is that she is a photographer. And by the time she gets to Caledon in Double Exposure, she's like this world famous, or at least like nationally famous, traveling photographer taking photos of, if I remember correctly, the kind of like unseen stuff around the United States. And then to have the game be like, and now you can take the pictures. It's like, what?
Yeah,
That's not my thing, man. Like, I want to see the stuff that she sees that I don't see. Like, that's the
yeah,
appeal of it, I think. So it felt like
yeah.
it missed the mark.
It definitely doesn't make you feel like a good photographer, and
No.
100% on that end. Yeah, it was like an abandoned places type
Yeah, something
thing.
like that.
Like when I go to it now directly after the games, I realize, oh, she like all of her photos come in pairs, so it's almost like she's
Oh,
like hinting at her time travel shit with. Oh, I'm so
right.
sorry. Her time travel stuff with it.
Right.
Uh, so that yeah. Um, I what double exposure. I also had completely forgotten about Maya, which is crazy because Maya is their kind of Rachel Amber equivalent.
Maya.
Um,
I,
like, do you even remember who
I
Maya
don't
is?
think I do. No.
So Maya is deceased in the game, and she used to be friends with Safi, and she is the reason that
That's
everything
right.
happens.
Okay. Because the thing that I always remember about Double Exposure is Max, Safi, and then the like nerdy telescope guy whose name I never remember, but I really love him.
Moses.
Moses. Thank you. Those are the three
Yes.
that I think those are the three like the strongest characters. And now that we're watching some footage here of Double Exposure, I remember the bartender lady in this game that Max has a crush on that I actually really like, and I kind of wish she was in the game a little bit more. She features
Yeah,
prominently, but Amanda. I wish she was in the game a little bit more because I kind of liked her.
I agree. And man, I'll go ahead and move on to Reunion now. I feel so bad for her in Reunion
Oh
because it's
yeah,
just like if you wanted, you could still romance her, but no one's gonna romance her with Chloe around, you know.
yeah, exactly.
Um, so this time around, I liked Reunion a whole lot more
Okay.
because everything was kind of fresh on my mind. A lot of the details from Before the Storm and Life is Strange were there. Um, it's it is a surprisingly drastic conversational difference with Chloe alive versus Chloe dead.
Okay.
So the first time I played through it, Chloe was dead. So it's like Max is just like in this ecstatic shock when
Like she's
she
back. Oh
runs
my
into her.
god.
Yeah,
Right.
like just like stumped for words, and it's it's a little bit of a tearjerker. And this time, like it's still like kind of there, but it's not quite the gravitas of someone coming back from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but they do talk about a lot of their memories and adventures together because evidently after
Oh.
Arcadia Bay was destroyed, they just drove around the country a bunch,
Right.
um, and that was cool. The I was talking about how they were doing checklist stuff. They have a quirky groundskeeper in Reunion, and I never put
Okay.
it together that they went, "Oh right, we need a quirky groundskeeper because Life is Strange one had
Right.
Stanley, I think it was his name, and
Something
this
like that.
guy's different, and it's funny because you never learn his name, but he's like just this guy who's, as he's cleaning, he is always rocking out and
Okay.
like obviously listening to metal or something like that. It is he's entertaining. I wish they had just like a hair more of him, honestly.
Right.
Um let's see. The right, so this is, they kind of just took everything from the previous game and then added a couple new environments. Um you get most of the same characters back, you know. The first time I played through it, I did not save most of the people. Okay, let me rewind. Let me actually rewind significantly. Doing the max power.
That's right.
So a lot of the choices in double exposure and reunion are really just based around the tone of your relationships with the characters in the game.
Okay.
They don't really affect the story so much. Um, why was I bringing? I just completely lost my train of thought. What were we talking about? It's going to talk about right. Um, no, I can't remember why I brought that up, but that is true. Um, so the first time I played Reunion, like Reunion is, you find out at the beginning of the game there's going to be a big fire. Max goes back in time to try to prevent it. And that's the game, is her trying to prevent this thing. And near the end of the game, there are like, I don't remember, like 6-ish people that can be saved in the fire. Some of them you can save on the spot. At least one of them you have to do some prep work earlier in the story to save.
Sure. It's all like
Uh,
paying off some of your decisions.
exactly.
Gotcha.
And the first time I played it, I didn't save most of them, and I think part of that is because I was already annoyed at double exposure, and therefore I started Reunion annoyed. I was not paying attention to the details as much as I should have, because I think many of them were fairly obvious in retrospect.
Sure.
But this time I saved everyone.
Okay.
The ending of Reunion, I don't know what to think about how to talk around this. They have like basically 3 versions of it.
Okay.
And I really like all 3 versions. I think it's a really clever thing. It kind of, you kind of figure out that the thesis of double exposure in Reunion, it's kind of multifaceted. It's an anti life determined by fate kind of narrative, right?
Okay.
It doesn't say you can fix everything and make it sunshine and rainbows, but it does say you should do everything you can with your time, kind of deal.
Sure.
And it also does a lot to kind of acknowledge Max and all of the things she has done to try to help people. And they just, gosh, I don't think I can actually say what I want to say without spoiling.
Sure.
Just, I really like the options on the endings, and I think it's really beautiful if you do save everyone from that fire. Like, I think that is worthwhile replaying that last, I guess, day in the game or so, if you mess it up. Yeah, I adore these games. I could see me replaying all 4 of these occasionally over the years.
Sure.
I will say, if anyone else at home is considering doing something like this, I think what you said, Boston, in the last episode is true. If you haven't played any of them before, then yeah, start out with the first game. Do Before the
Yeah.
Storm after the first game.
Yeah. Do the release order instead of the chronological order.
Yeah. And while it was like kind of fascinating doing chronological order, I also don't know that I got like I think I would have gotten the same stuff out of it had
Right.
I just done Life is Strange 1 and then Before the Storm. Like, I don't think that was, it was interesting to do, and maybe I'll do it again. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
But
it's fun to do it at least. Of like, yeah, what if I played it in chronological
yeah.
order? All right, that was fun. Sure.
Yeah. Um Gosh, trying to think what else I want to comment in on. Some of the walking animations for some reason really bother me in Reunion. I think Chloe walks kind of funny, and I don't want to
Mm,
walk shame people. Just like I don't know. It's a weird. It's just it bothers me.
yeah. Well,
And once I noticed it on Chloe, I noticed it on everyone.
it's like
Uh,
such a it sounds like a weird thing, but it's you stare at it for so long in these games that once you see
yeah,
something weird, you're like, oh no, it's real weird.
yeah. Um, I think well, Double Exposure and Reunion are never going to be as good as the first two. I still think they have so much connective tissue between the two and so many nods that are just mundane conversational things
Mm-hmm.
that are not thrown in your face at all. That you will. I don't know. A lot of people have better memory than me on this stuff, but playing it all at once really showed a lot of that.
Right.
Safi is still Safi in Reunion. There's no
Right.
change in that. Um, and hmm, yeah, I think that's probably all I want to say about that. I'm going to start accidentally spoiling things if I start talking more about it. So,
Yeah, I
um,
want to get to it soon because I just bought a physical copy of it. It was on sale on
hmm,
some sale, and I'm like, all right, I should probably just buy this. I have most of the collection or most of the series of games physically that got released. Let me just buy this, and then I don't have the excuse of not having it. I just need to like get around to it and start playing it. I got to do that
yeah,
soon.
and I really suspect you will like. Okay. Let me phrase this correctly. I think you will hate Double Exposure less
Oh,
if
good.
you play like
Once you like get
the
the other
original
half
games
of the
first.
story,
Yeah, and
right,
and yeah, I think all of those things will bleed together more. But
right.
I don't know. You're the arbiter of your time. uh, let's see. And then I started a game on True Colors because I just can't stop.
Oh,
Um,
okay. I was gonna ask you if
uh,
um I was figuring that you probably weren't gonna play Life is Strange 2, because that's just that game
that's
is
so
really hard,
hard.
man. Like, just
Yeah.
it's a little too much. But I was gonna ask you if you're gonna play True Colors, a game that I think both you and well, you and Moon and I both really liked when we played it originally.
Yeah. I have often thought of True Colors as my favorite Life is Strange game.
I think I'd probably
Um,
say the same thing too. Yeah.
yeah. Now that I'm kind of thinking about the four games kind of together in my head, like it's harder for me to make that comparison.
Right.
Just because they it
Excuse me.
well, it's definitely different authors. Those four games definitely feel like a complete story arc and thought process.
Right.
So True Colors is still really freaking good. It is. I think one of the things I also love about it compared to regular Life is Strange is it is willing to be its own game. It
Yeah.
is not beholden to, kind of doing that checklist deal I was talking about.
Right.
All Life is Strange games are going to have really bad tragedies, and I'm not super far in True Colors at the moment. I'm, I think I made it to chapter 2. Um, I've been trying not to use the internet much for my choices, just because it's been long enough that I don't remember a lot of it.
Right.
I still would like in real life to move to this town.
Oh yeah,
It
for sure.
seems so nice. Holy crap. I don't, it's, every time you walk through it, you're like, "Well, they don't even, she had to walk here? What is going on?"
Right.
They don't have cars in their downtown streets. They have this indie record store station. Man, so another DNA thing that I noticed. So in Reunion, Chloe is managing the band Drugstore Makeup,
Hmm.
which is Steph's from True Colors' old band.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And granted, that's about all you get from that, but
Yeah, but
it was a neat little like
I feel like
crossover thing.
when we were moving from like Life is Strange 1 to Life is Strange 2 and then to True Colors, I felt like when True Colors came out, we could see the plan for almost this like anthology style series of
Yeah,
games of they are all a main character who has some sort of powers and they're in the same universe. Like they're in, the Bay happened in the first game in all of these games. Like in
yeah,
2 you kind of drive past the Bay and like you see what happened depending on what you chose in the first game. Um and to me True Colors was like it was the proof that the formula could work that wasn't copying the first game. They're very
yeah,
similar games, but it was like, okay, you're in this shared world and we're referencing it here and there, but like they are their own games, which was initially such a bummer for me about Double Exposure and Reunion was like we don't need to go back to Max. Her story is already done. We've had all of these other Life is Strange 2 is a good game. It's just too much for me to play ever again. It's just,
yeah,
it's too rough. But it was a successful game, and I thought it was genuinely really good. And you could see, like, well, we're just going to tell another story of another person with powers in a totally different way. And I think that's part of what I love so much about True Colors is, like, the formula for these games is so broad of telling a story about someone, usually a coming of age story of someone with powers. That's it. Like
yeah,
that's all you really need. Like fill in the gaps
yeah,
otherwise.
yeah. I had really hoped that was what they were going to do with the franchise
Yep.
too. And who knows what the heck's gonna happen to the franchise now with
Right.
was it Don't Nod is about done, and it sounds like Reunion didn't sell well, so then
Right. Deck 9 might be
Deck
in
Nine
trouble
may
as
be in
well.
trouble. Yeah,
Yep.
which is just freaking horrible. Like
Yep.
I'm sure Square will keep the franchise and give it to someone else,
Sure.
just because that is the hellscape we live in.
Right.
Like,
Yep.
like just let them do a Bungie. Let them just go off on their own again, and
That's
then
right.
take the franchise with them.
Let them do their thing.
Like you aren't even printing enough copies of the collector's edition Square.
Yeah,
Like, what do you
exactly.
care? Um, True Colors is still an amazing game, and it very much feels way more high budget than any of the others. Honestly,
It
like
really does,
there's
yeah.
there's a lot more. I think animation in terms of I don't know if they had their voice actors actually act this out, but the facial animations and body movements feel way more human and less stilted than the other games.
Yeah.
Um, and I love that it's always tries to tell this really it's maybe complex and nuanced isn't the right words, but it very much tries to show the good and evil in a lot of the characters in the games. Like there are very
Right.
few like 1000% evil characters in any of the Life is Strange games, other than the serial killer in the first one. Uh,
Yeah, right.
and like the guy, don't get me wrong, the villain in True Colors is pretty dang villainous, but like
Yeah.
there's also, without spoiling it, like the rest of the game where you don't know that person is a villain. That
Right.
well, you can look back on some of their actions and be like, oh, this is because of this. Like other things they do is like, oh, they actually feel super guilty about the whole thing. Like
Mhm.
they know they're a terrible person. And I don't know. I appreciate them making these characters more human than not. But um, anyway, I am sure I will have that beaten by next time. The first chapter in this game is, in a way, one of the harder ones, just like
Yeah.
emotionally. Uh, it is, man, if you have never played Life is Strange True Colors, just don't watch any previews. Like, if you're curious about it and want to play it, just go watch it. Don't know anything about the story.
It's so good.
Yeah, yeah. And then for my last game, Steam had a sale and I picked up Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Oh, okay.
So the first piece of advice I want to give is if you can buy this game for something, don't buy it for computer.
Okay.
It is nothing I own runs this game well.
Okay.
It is yeah, Steam had a sale on this for like $30. And it when I first tried to run it on my PC would heat up and shut itself down.
Okay, great.
And that turned out to be mostly my PC's problem, and that my coolant system, the thermal paste had dried up, so we had to remove that and clean it off. And
Oh,
then it
sure.
turned out one of the screws that helped get the pressure on it had kind of broken somewhat, so we had to kind of finagle a solution there. But
Mm.
in that time where I didn't realize that was what was happening, I was on the Reddit boards, and evidently there's a lot of complaints about optimization in this game.
Interesting.
I guess the company that made it, I want to say it's the Chinese Room.
I believe that. Yeah, I think that's them.
Yeah, evidently they didn't really optimize Unreal a lot, so there's some mods you can get out there to kind of help it.
Mm.
The playing it on Steam Deck is like just running it off of Steam Deck is near impossible. Like it is.
Oh, it chugs too much.
It is, yes. You get low frame rates. It does not do well with the open world. Like I was being stubborn because I'm like, well, this is the only way I can even remotely play it. So I was attempting it, but I had to save before each fight. And each fight, it was a coin toss on whether I could interpret what was happening on the screen.
Oh, sure.
Like the combat in this is so fast, you can't play this with frame rate drops.
Right.
After I got my main PC fixed, now I'm streaming it through my Steam Deck and it's working good.
Oh, nice.
So this is an incredibly different game from Bloodlines 1. So let's start there. Like they did get I forget his name, Vic something or other for the soundtrack, which is appreciated.
Mm-hmm.
But where the first game was kind of this, you had multiple open areas that you would go to, and there'd be a lot of talking to people and solving things. Like it was kind of like Deus Ex, like in a way. I think that's
Right.
probably the best comparison. This game, you play. Okay, I'm gonna get back to that thought comparison in a minute, and drop some backstory. So in this game, you play a character called the Nomad, which is an elder, and you have woken up with a symbol on your hand and then a Malkavian in your head.
Okay.
The Malkavian in your head is named Fabian. He's kind of a gumshoe detective type guy, very likable. So the way this game plays is you do have a big, well, not really a big, but you have a map of Seattle that's maybe a dozen blocks or so. It's not really filled with locales that you go in. You do talk to people, but so far, and granted, I'm not very far in the game, and unfortunately, I screwed up the saves, so I got to replay like an hour or two of stuff I already did, but I'll
Goodness.
get into that why in a minute. So you from what I can tell, you go around and they have different clan contacts, and you talk to them to get kind of some additional powers and upgrades. And all you really do on the main map, besides go to them, is go to your next mission point. And then they have these, I guess you could, quest is too generous a word. Like you have these 3 currencies that you use to level up, and you get those currencies by finding marks on the map with that symbol on them.
Okay.
And you have to drain their blood, without anyone, without breaking the masquerade.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much oh, there's a symbol on the map. I'll go to it. There's a person. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to try and get them in an alley. I drank their blood. Okay, now I have 50 or 100 points of this symbol. Like, it's very...
It's like an encounter more than like anything
Yes.
more meaningful.
Yes. It is a very shallow encounter.
Mm.
uh, Now, that said, like, I'm enjoying the game. When you're playing the Nomad, the combat is incredibly fun. Like, because you're just absurdly fast. It takes a bit to get used to, because it's fast and because you have telekinesis and all these vampire powers that are maybe a little ill-defined. I say ill-defined. There are readings for them. I'm not going to remember anything today. So the clan I chose was a clan that specializes in shadow things. I was just Googling the La Sombra.
Okay.
It is evidently a new clan that they have allowed you to play. You don't get to choose all the clans. Like, you can't choose a Malkavian.
Mm.
I assume you can't choose a Malkavian because you have one living in your head.
Right.
But, you can choose Tremere and Toreador and Ventru and Bruja. And I don't know who the Banu Hakim are, but they're in there too. So the La Sombra do like shadow teleports and Shadow Realm stuff. The Shadow Realm stuff is where I'm talking about ill-defined, because I do not understand what in the world is happening when I go into the Shadow Realm.
Okay.
And granted, at this point, I am unfortunately an unreliable narrator to any of you, since I was having such a trouble with getting this game to run in a way that I could play it. But
Sure.
either way, like, you basically can run up buildings and then float from building to building, and just the way you can kind of, like, once you figure out what you're doing, well, yeah, you can die kind of easy. You can also just very easily overpower like a group of like 4 or 5 guys. Like, your dodge moves you back like 20 or 30 feet in whatever direction you push, and it's like instant. So I guess that's another thing. Like, maybe if you get motion sickness from games, maybe go look up the
Right.
combat on this and decide if it's too much for you. The one of the things I really like that this game does is, when you play, you get to play some of Fabian's memories, and that's where you actually get like kind of the conversational mechanics where you can influence brains and things like that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know how often those are going to occur. So far, they've been happening nearly after every story beat.
Okay.
I don't know if it's going to keep up for that. I feel like I saw a review that was complaining they didn't have enough of it. But to me, this is not a game you should probably play $60 for. This is
Sure.
like to me, $30 is a decent price point. But I like it enough to where when it goes on sale on console, if I haven't beaten it yet, I may just buy it on console and play through the game there.
Sure.
But all that said, like, this really is not much, if anything, like the original Bloodlines, which is disappointing. But I'm just happy there's another Masquerade game and that it's kind of fun to play.
Yeah.
So, that is really all I got to say about it right now. So, Boston, what have you been having going on?
I started and finished my first run through of the Final Fantasy V Forge Job Fiesta, which I think last episode was just about getting ready to start. I had a really interesting party setup. So I did a meteor run, which is just kind of, you get whatever jobs you get at every crystal. You can get any of the jobs. Let me back up. If anyone hasn't played the Final Fantasy V Forge Job Fiesta, you can check out forgejobfiesta.com. It's basically a a yearly thing. This is the 15th year I've been running it, which is wild. I looked back at my spreadsheet. I did not expect that. And basically, you get a random group of jobs assigned to you, one from every crystal, and you go through the game doing that, and it largely turns Final Fantasy V from kind of a standard job-based JRPG into something that's more of a puzzle sort of thing in a way that I really love. And my lineup this year was Chemist, Red Mage, Thief, and Ninja. And with this setup, what it was, I needed to lean on Chemist more than I have ever had to in the past. And that turned out to be really interesting because Chemist is always kind of celebrated as the thing that breaks the game. And I did not realize how true that was. Because basically, a chemist has two abilities. One is drink, where they're drinking these kind of tonics or whatever. That system largely does not matter in the game. It matters maybe once or twice in a run that's having significant problems. The real strength of the chemist is mix, where you're taking two items, typically random, regular items you're picking up, you mix them together and they do something different. Like, you can throw a potion, or like a high potion and an ether together, and you use that on a party member, and it heals them and gives them MP at the same time. Or like, you can do an elixir and a phoenix down, and that will bring a party member back to life and give them all their HP and MP at the same time. So you're kind of taking these normal items you have and sort of like supercharging them by combining them. The thing that really saved me for the majority of this game is something called Succubus's Kiss, which is essentially you're going to do an incredible amount of damage to the enemy, and you're going to steal that amount of health. But unlike a lot of other abilities or spells in this game, it isn't dependent on how much HP you're missing. It depends on how much HP you have. So there's also something that you can drink for your chemist, which is called the Goliath's Tonic, I think. It basically doubles your HP. So by the end of the game, you have 5,000 plus HP, and you're just doing a ton of damage every turn by combining two regular items. What I also didn't realize, I was struggling a little bit with the final boss. The rest of the run was like largely not very interesting. I didn't realize that there was a mix that you could do that replicated the effects of the Goliath Tonic on any of your party members. So by the end of the game, I was doing okay damage-wise, but I was having trouble with a survivability standpoint. I just did that, and suddenly all of my party members have like 5,000 or 6,000 HP. The final boss is doing maybe 1,500, which is a big problem before that. When you have 6,000 HP, it's just like, okay, you did maybe a quarter of it. I'm gonna lightly heal my party and then just kind of keep on going. So I had a really solid run that I think worked really well because the run forced me to take advantage of a job that I haven't necessarily needed to in the past. And that's part of the reason why I like the Fiesta is in other years I've had a chemist, but I've also had other jobs that are wildly stronger than the chemist without having to be like a little bit fiddly. So it's like, well, I'll just use the other characters. No big deal. I'll use the other jobs. So it was kind of nice to have something a little bit different this time in this run. So I did start a second run, but I started and I was like, I don't think I'm going to do a second run this year. You know, some years I'll do like 5 runs in a row and I'm really having fun. This year my heart is like not in it. I try to do 1 run every year if I can. I did my 1 run and I'm kind of happy with what I did. So
I in years past, you have done many runs.
mhm.
Like 1 year, like I think you deserve whatever break you want.
Yeah, and the Fiesta runs until August 31st. And like there are enough tools out there that if you just want to run a Fiesta outside of the thing, there's plenty of websites that will just give you like a random selection of jobs that follow the same rules. But I feel like this is definitely the type of game and like the type of event where if I'm not feeling it, you definitely don't want to push it for any reason. It's like I had fun. I had a fun run. The second run that I had was going to be wildly strong because I had a Blue Mage and a Beastmaster, which means I can kind of basically learn every spell in the entire game. But I just my heart wasn't in it, and that's okay. My next game and my last game here that I have to talk about is one that is kind of an RPG and kind of not here. It's a game called Beastro, Beastro. This is a cozy life sim cooking game that's also a dungeon crawling deck builder. So let me
Right up your alley.
yeah, like I think the easiest way to describe Beastro is to kind of like run through a normal day of the game. So you play as this like fox chef, and when you wake up in the morning, you have an unlimited time in the morning to go out and take care of your little farm plots and the like weird beast versions of cows and chickens, talk to everybody in town, gather all of the ingredients that you need to gather around town, do all your fishing, all of that stuff. It's very low impact, it's very chill, and the whole thing is just basically go out and do the stuff you need to do to run the restaurant later. There's no time pressure about it. When you want to go open the restaurant, that's up to you to go figure out the timing for that. Just kind of take your time. When you're done doing all of that, you go open the restaurant, you pick out your menu for the day, you do a couple of mini games to cook the dishes for the people in the town. You then like plop them on a table, you go run around the restaurant and you deliver them. It's not like Plate Up or anything. It's not this like crazy manic like, wow, let's go sort of thing. It's still a very chill thing. None of the mini games, even as you upgrade them and they get a little bit more complex, they never get super complex or super difficult. They're all just kind of not easy, but they're manageable, I think. So once you do that, you're kind of in the back half of the day, and the adventurer that's going to go outside of the walls of the town to go do the story stuff, you need to make them a dish, and depending on what ingredients you put in that dish, that's what dictates the deck of cards that they're going to bring on the adventure in the next part. And there are 6 types of ingredients. You can think of it as like elements in a lot of card games, but it's going to be types of food. So it's like umami, sour, sweet, salty, bitter, and spicy. And all of them will complement other flavors or balance other flavors, which is sort of a way of saying you can play this card with this flavor type. Another card will balance it and make it stronger, so you'll do more damage to the enemy. Or if the enemy plays this one type of flavor, you can play a balancing card to it, essentially the opposite type of card. So if you were playing like a standard JRPG and an enemy was going to play a fire card, you're going to play a water card to try and neutralize that and do damage. So very similar sort of stuff going on here. And you spend all that time and you build a deck for the adventurer, and you try to make the best deck you can. And then at the end of the night, you go and you close the restaurant and you go gather a bunch of stuff around town for your dishes. You're doing some sort of night fishing. You're gathering any like night crops or ingredients. And then you go to the tea house at the end of the day, and then the adventurer that you sent out earlier with the dishes tells you about their adventure. And that this is basically like you get to go in the dungeon, you get to do the adventure stuff at this point. And it's this wonderful like shadow play style where these like illustrated pictures on sticks are fighting to represent the monsters and the character you helped fight here. And this is where the deck building stuff comes in. So you have this kind of like FTL style map that you're going through. You're running into battles, you're harvesting ingredients, you're running into events. It's all kind of the standard like FTL style map stuff. And you're fighting against these enemies using the deck that you built, and as you're defeating them, you're getting ingredients, you're getting ideas for dishes and all of that stuff. And I was pretty impressed because as relaxed as the rest of the game is, the battle stuff isn't... It's not the most difficult thing in the world, but it's a little bit more complex than I was expecting it to be. Like, it's a real... It feels like a really solidly designed deck builder, and not just, oh, the enemy is always going to play cards that you have the perfect cards to battle against. There's going to be times where it's going to be like, no, like, you designed your deck pretty poorly, man. Like, you just, here's the enemies you're going to fight. You know that now. Make a different dish, build a different deck coming in. And that's kind of the routine of the game. And I do like a game that has like a daily multi-part routine like that. Like Moonlighter is one of my favorite examples of like a game where you're kind of doing a kind of seemingly monotonous routine sort of thing. But I liked the combination of having the no time pressure stuff that's normally going on in the like the morning and the evening stuff, combined with this really fun and really cool deck builder thing. And then all of that, the entire game, and I really took my time, the entire game was done in 15 hours. So like it stayed exactly as long as it needed to. You got through like 3 main dungeons. The boss battles at the end of the game were like really nail-biting boss battles. They weren't hard, but it was like kind of down to the wire to get some of that stuff done. And I really loved it. I would highly recommend people check out a trailer for this. I think that the style is really charming. The writing was really fun. The music was really great. And it's this... We don't always have a ton of like really cool Blue Sky games out there, and this was a really great, really charming Blue Sky game, which I kind of wish we get more of these. But I'm really happy to see that we got a really great one that I hope more people check out, because I get the impression that it's getting a little bit overlooked. It's right now it's on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. And unfortunately it doesn't seem like it's on Switch at the moment. I think it would probably do really well there. But I thought Beastro was really cool, Beastro. If any of that sounds cool, or if you check out the trailer and you think it looks fun, I really liked it a whole lot. So go check it out. Let's do a couple of releases here for July 2026 before we go off into a couple of news stories here. Let's talk about Concept Begins, coming out on July 16th for Switch, Switch 2, and PC. As far as I can tell, it's a brand new Concept game, which is fairly wild because I thought this was a franchise that was kind of dead in the ground a very long time ago. If anyone hasn't seen Concept before, it's basically a combination of a board game and a deck builder. So when you're going and you're doing a dungeon, essentially, you're kind of going along a board game route and dealing with like board game sort of positives and negatives on individual tiles. And then when you're doing a battle, you're picking your cards, and those are the things that are doing damage to the enemy cards that you're running into on the board. I'm very happy that there's a new one. As far as I can tell, I don't think it's a remake of an earlier one, because I think the original was on the Saturn. There's a PS2 one, and I think a 3DS one. So it's like every 10 years or so we get like a brand new one. So I'm really excited about this. I need to kind of add it to my wish list and pick it up eventually, because I have always thought that I would like a Concept game, and I've kind of never been able to find one because they always come out at the wrong time, and then nobody prints them, so they're just like immediately impossible to get. So that's Concept Begins, coming out July 16th. Next up is Disgaea Mayhem, comes out on July 23rd for PS5, Switch, Switch 2, and PC. This is a Disgaea spin-off. They're kind of taking a different approach in Disgaea. And this is a third-person kind of hack and slash action, almost a Musou sort of game that takes place in the Disgaea universe. So not like a SRPG grid-based thing, but like a kind of many monsters hack and slash sort of thing. So that seems pretty fun. Like if you're going to make a Disgaea spin-off, why don't you just get all the way weird with it, I think, is probably the best way to put it. So
I'd be really curious what that studio would do with this style of game. Like,
yeah, it definitely seems like it's a cool idea for a series that is pretty wacky overall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Next game here, Final Fantasy X and X-2 HD Remaster, comes out on Switch 2 on July 23rd. If you are a fan of RPGs and JRPGs and you have a Switch 2 and you haven't played 10 or X-2 yet, it's one of the most beloved for a good reason. I think I played back through this on, oh god, what was it, the PS4 when they came out with the like first remaster of because it like had a PS4 version, then a PS5 version, then Switch 2. That game still holds up. I think that game is still really great, and I am like one of the few defenders of X-2, because I think that game is super fun, super campy, pretty lighthearted compared to 10. But both of those games are really great, and hopefully they run. I'd be pretty surprised if they didn't run well on the Switch 2. The other versions ran pretty well. So that seems pretty great. Check them out. Next game here, a game that I have meant to play for a really long time, and I unfortunately kept forgetting about. Dungeon Antiqua comes out to consoles on July 30th for PS5 and Series consoles. How do I explain this? It's kind of a combination of a top-down dungeon crawler. Like if you think of something like Wizardry or like Dragon Quest 1, that sort of thing, where you're doing like a tile by tile fog of war sort of thing. but the dungeon does change every time. It's not really a roguelike, though. Um, and then has the battle system of, let's say, like the first 6 Final Fantasy games, where it's like heroes line up on the right, enemies are on the left. Looks a lot like Final Fantasy 1 with an in-depth job system like Final Fantasy 5. People have really loved this game a lot on PC. I think it came out on PC about 2 years ago or so, 2024, I believe. And they're working on a sequel to it. But I think if you like any of those games that has taken inspiration from, it seems like this game is kind of a slam dunk for a lot of people. So go check out a trailer. It's called Dungeon Antiqua. I think if you look at the trailer, you will immediately know if that is a game for you or not within a couple seconds.
I'm buying it momentarily. It is on sale right now on Steam. I think I'd heard the name before, but like watching that trailer and what it is, like $10, and I guess they made a sequel too.
Yeah.
And I get both of them, like done.
Yeah. It's very much, you can look at that game and be like, that game looks old, or nope, they made a game for me. All right, let's do it. That sort of.
I am in. I am 1,000% in.
Yeah, so that's Dungeon Antiqua, out now on PC, out PS5 and Series consoles on July 30th. Also coming out on July 30th is Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch Edition. I don't remember if we talked about it last month or not, but Nintendo had a big showcase, and they announced they're doing like up-resed and like lightly remastered versions of the Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 for Switch 2. A lot of it's like in docked mode. It's going to be 4K 60 frames. It's going to have cleaner textures. It's going to have faster loading, all of that sort of stuff. They said there's going to be some quality of life stuff for all of the games. If I have seen a list of the quality of life stuff, I'm not sure. I'm also not sure I would understand it. If you're interested in that, you have probably seen it already. So the first game is out right now digitally, and physically will come out at some point. I don't remember when. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2, the Switch 2 edition, is coming out on July 30th. And then the third one comes out... this trailer is going to say it here in a second. Hold on. December 3rd, 2026. So we'll have kind of all 3 of them having come out by the end of this year.
Great, so I can buy 2 again and still not get Cosmos.
That's right. Hopefully it'll make it easier this time, but I'm not sure.
Allegedly, they've made it pretty easy now to get her, and I feel like I went back and tried the method for like an hour or 2, and while it did get me a lot of summons, it did not get me her. But
maybe this will be third time's a charm.
I don't know that I have. I like those games. Xenoblade 2 is the only one I beat. Mm-hmm. I don't think I have it in me to ever play through that game from scratch again.
They're all so long, man. Oh my gosh.
They're long. They're very like grindy in the way that you were grinding for materials or things. It's been too long. You were grinding for some sort of item thing.
Right.
And granted, my friend who adores these, like I guess the DLC they did for the third one had all the main characters from all 3 of them in it. And so you had the main character from 2, which 2 is like a Tenchi Muyo like harem anime almost. Like it is and they actually, so while the 1 and 3 like you see pictures of the characters in their own world, and while you had like adult responses to 1 and 3, like 2, the main character actually did hook up and have kids with all of the women.
There you go, perfect.
Which I thought was
a
very funny like side note
like,
thing for them to do
after the Tenchi Muyo season we never got.
Anyway, sorry.
And last game we have here is Beast of Reincarnation. Comes out August 4th for PS5, Series consoles, and PC. This is Game Freak's new action RPG, Game Freak of Pokemon fame. They're making this kind of post-apocalyptic hack and slash. You have a large sort of demon wolf thing action RPG. I keep watching trailers of this, and I keep seeing this at press conferences and stuff, and I'm still not really sure how I feel about this game. It looks really cool. I just don't really know what the game overall is going to be, other than here's some cool battles, which is fine, but it just... I don't know what all the connective tissue is going to be, and that is the thing that kind of concerns me pre-release.
Yeah, I hadn't seen this before. It looks very like they took these it's like they took on a Musha, Last of Us, and then I guess a game where you get a dog.
And like
like it's very
like
confusing to look at.
Sort of combat thing. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I'm not sure. I think Musum's having audio problems. I'm still not sure what this is going to be like, but I hope it's successful for Game Freak at the very least, of like, hey, remember we also make other games that aren't Pokemon? And people go, yeah, cute. Anyways, Pokemon? So hopefully they are a little bit more successful there. Okay, let's talk about really quickly. As we were recording last month's episode, we were in the middle of not E3. I refuse to call it Summer Games Fest because I'm not giving Keeley that much power. But we were in the middle of not E3. There was not a ton of RPG news or kind of picking up the pixels adjacent game news, but I kind of want to blow through a handful of games here to talk about on the show. Some of them we know are RPGs. Some of them maybe look cool and we're not entirely sure. Like first up here in Sony's State of Play, Kumori. This is the first game from Unseen Studios, the Ikumi Nakamura's studio. You might remember her as the like really fun lady that was on the stage for Ghostwire Tokyo and games around that era. This is going to be a co-op yokai hunting game where you're doing a bunch of like yokai hunting around like a future Tokyo with your friends. And I think this looks incredibly cool. Not sure, again, if it's an RPG or what it is. I'm just happy to see that Unseen is out here finally showing off the game that they're working on, and it's one of the most stylish things we've seen in a really long time. So that's Kumuri, Kemuri. Don't believe that has a release window at the moment, unfortunately. And then next up, I'm not sure really what this game is going to be long term, but God of War Laufey got announced. This is the kind of next God of War game featuring Kratos and Atreus's, wife and mom, respectively. Kind of what happens in the afterlife with her. It looks super cool. Will it be an RPG in any fashion more than, hey, you're getting some XP like we've gotten in the last couple of God of War games? I don't know. But it looks cool either way. So hopefully that will be an action RPG more than just an action game. But we'll see. That did not have a release window yet. I think it's a lot of like, hey, we're working on it. We got a game coming. So don't worry about it. On the Summer Games Fest itself, we don't know a ton of info about this, but Platinum Games is working on a Last Ronin game. That's that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles kind of like very dark thing.
Platinum's doing that, huh?
Yeah, so if anyone else was going to be working on a Last Ronin thing, which I know very little about the Last Ronin, I don't know what turtle it is or whatever. I'm not going to spoil it for anybody. If anyone else was going to be doing that, I'd be like, okay, like sure, whatever, that's fine. But Platinum is still putting out good stuff, and them working on a last running game, sort of like, okay, well, let's keep an eye on what that might be. So we'll keep an eye on that. Shockingly, ArenaNet came out and announced Guild Wars 3, which is a thing I was fairly sure was never going to happen, because Guild Wars 2 is just kind of happily, clipping along for the last, 15, 20, 25 years, something like that. And I remember when they announced Guild Wars 2, they were like, well, we're going to take the next step of the MMO. And everyone was like, yeah, okay, sure. Like, oh, sounds great. You're going to make a bigger World of Warcraft, huh? And then it turns out Guild Wars 2 did have some interesting ideas to kind of set it apart from, like, World of Warcraft and then later Elder Scrolls Online. And the thing that I thought was really interesting when someone from Arena was up on stage, they're like, hey, we're going to do it again. We have some interesting ideas on how to kind of take the MMO to the next level, like take the next step with an MMO. Here's Guild Wars 3. And it's like, okay, I'm definitely very curious to see what this company is going to come up with, if they have felt like it's a big enough leap over 2 to make an entirely new one. So incredibly cool, very light on details, but boy, I'm very excited to see whatever this is going to be. Okay, let me skip another game here. We have Star Wars Zero Company. This is going to be a Star Wars. It's essentially like a Star Wars XCOM. So it has the kind of like clone trooper squad. What was that? Like third person shooter. It was on like PS2 and original Xbox.
I think Republic Commando was
Republic Commando.
First person though.
It seems like it's kind of a similar setup to that, of like that type of squad, just an XCOM game, which I think sounds incredible. Why have we not had like 5 of these before this? Like this seems like a kind of winning combination here. So that's coming August 27th, 2026. So that's kind of just right around the corner. Monster Hunter Wilds Ascendance got announced as well. This is a DLC to Monster Hunter Wilds. I don't really know that much about it, because I feel like a Monster Hunter game is going to be a lot of inside baseball as it is anyway, and then like an expansion to a game that had kind of an all over the place reception seems like it's going to be even more wild. So that's coming out next year. I don't know the details about that. I'm just happy that's happening. Speaking of something that's coming back after like 20 years, The Wolf Among Us 2 got talked about again after, I don't know, when did the first one come out on 360? Like 20 years ago now, maybe?
Yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Great game.
Yeah.
Very long time ago.
So they, allegedly, The Wolf Among Us 2 is coming out on PS5 series consoles and PC in 2027. They also announced at the same time a remaster of the first game. Because it's been long enough that, I don't remember if I even finished that first game. But, it's been long enough that I could have, and I just didn't remember whatsoever. So that should be coming out both this year, and then I don't remember when they said the remake is coming out, or the remaster, but I don't remember if it's this year or not. But keep an eye out for it there. And then last thing at the Summer Games Fest is Final Fantasy VII Revelation. We talked about that a little bit last episode because it was kind of happening as we were recording. But this is the third part of the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy. Is coming out spring 2027. Unlike the last 2 games, it's launching simultaneously on all platforms. So PC, PS5, and series consoles. They show off a whole bunch
Good
of
on them.
yeah, it's very great because now the first two parts are on everything. Well, is the second one on PC? Anyways, the second one is on at least PS5 and series consoles, and now everyone will be able to kind of finish the trilogy all at the same time. Um, so nothing new that they announced after we talked about it last month. So go check out that stuff for some highlights here. Day of the Devs, which is a thing you should go check out anyways, just to see if you have missed any cool looking games that aren't RPGs. The real highlight there is Threads of Time. Uh, I this is this studio's first game. I don't know where they came from. They're basically making another Chrono Trigger. Like, I don't really want to like sell it up of how the game is going to play or anything. But they're doing like a time travel sort of thing where you're going millions of years in the past. You're riding dinosaurs. You're going thousands of years in the future. You seem to have a time traveling spaceship with wings. Like it, you kind of know. I feel like you kind of know what the inspirations are here as you're looking at the game here. So highly, if
It
you're
looked so freaking good.
yeah, like if you're listening to the show, I highly recommend you check out a trailer for Threads of Time. It looks so good, has impeccable pixel art. I really, really want this to be good when it comes out. Sadly, we don't have a release window at the moment, but you should be keeping an eye on Threads of Time. I think that game looks really, really great. We didn't really have anything to talk about at Wholesome Direct. I will again encourage people to go watch the Wholesome Direct. It is just jam-packed full of really cool kind of blue sky, cozy, and really kind of heartwarming games. So go check that out. The Xbox Showcase, we have 5 games here to quickly talk about. First up was Fable. They announced a delay to February 23rd, 2027. So it's another game in the let's get out of the way of Grand Theft Auto 6 in November sort of thing. So that's coming out then. They showed a much darker and much more mature trailer here for Fable, which I thought was kind of a plus, as I think so many of the other trailers have been like, oh my gosh, this fun times in Fable. You can do whatever you want. Yeah, fart jokes. And I was happy to see that they focused a lot more on story stuff and the kind of core of the game itself there. So I still don't know if I'm going to pick it up. I've not enjoyed any of the other Fable games, but glad to see this just shaping up to look pretty solid here, I think. So do you think you're going to pick this one up, Musim?
I don't think I've ever played a Fable for a significant amount of time, so
Okay.
unlikely. But
Right.
at the same time, gosh, that'd be an interesting rabbit hole, right?
Right.
Like I'm on a friend's, like Microsoft's. This is a Microsoft only franchise, right? So all of them
Yeah.
should be on Game Pass.
Yeah,
Uh,
probably.
maybe I do that rabbit hole. I don't know. So there's something about, and maybe this is my own deranged mind of, I was very much a PlayStation guy at the time when this came out,
Sure.
and Molyneux, I did not appreciate him for what he was at the time.
Uh-huh.
We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
So like it was always a franchise where people were like, man, you can go and you can fart on people. I'm like, I don't actually have that desire to do
That's right.
that in an
That's right. I'm
RPG.
not sure that's a thing I want to do.
Yeah. But I've never tried out any of the games in it, and it seems like even the people who really like it have a lot of like their con list is very long.
Sure. Right.
uh, so I don't know, man. Like if I do the dive, then maybe, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Next game we have here is Persona 4 Revival, the final title of the Persona 4 remake. This is coming out February 18th, 2027. which is much sooner than I was expecting. Because last time we saw it, I don't know, 2 years ago or something, was basically the main character running down the street, and they're like, "There's gameplay." It's like, okay, I mean,
Yeah.
not really. And then they are just showing it off with all the new stuff, the new cutscenes, the new voice acting, all of this stuff. Unsurprisingly, basically none of the voice actors are coming back from the previous ones, but I think that's the curse of Persona 4 is every time it comes out anywhere, anytime anyone looks at Persona 4, it has new voice actors. So,
Yeah.
like, that's not too surprising.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
but I think it looks cool. I'm not sure how much of the core game has been changed. It looks like at least some of the golden content is in there, because Marie is in there at the very least. But we'll kind of see as this comes closer. I, I'm gonna be totally honest. I like Persona 4 a lot. Persona 4 has a lot of problems. I don't know if I can play Persona 4 again, man. Like, this would, I think, be my fourth time. I don't think I have it in me to play it again.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about another Persona 4 playthrough?
Um, when they first announcement, I was like, "There's no possible way."
Right.
And then I pre-ordered the stupid $200 edition on Amazon. Granted, there's a lot of time between now and February. I could
For
fall
sure.
off this bus pretty quick.
Yeah.
But even me buying it, like I barely played Persona 3 Reload, right?
Right.
Like, and I
Yeah.
have that box, and it's like, what am I doing with my money? Like, this is
Right.
not a smart way to live my life.
Yeah. But I
I
get
just
it.
don't see
Atlas
how they
Collector's
can.
Editions, like, they get us all.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty good. Like that said, I don't know how they. This one, I guess, feels worse than Persona 3 because it already had a legit upgrade with Golden, right?
Right.
Like,
Right.
um, and 3, like P3P was such a different game.
Yeah.
Like it was an upgrade in some ways and a downgrade in that you didn't have an avatar on screen; you just had the dots.
Hmm.
Which for the style of game it was honestly isn't bad. Like I still
No.
missed
Yeah.
having the avatar. But it's 3 is muddy waters, I guess, to me at
Yeah.
this point because it's you have the original, you have the version with the female protagonist, and now you have the remake that they just swore off the female protagonist,
Right.
unfortunately. And Persona 4, like I don't know. Like, are they gonna rewrite some of the stuff with kanji and I
Naoto, I
forgot the
think.
detective characters.
The
Yeah,
like homophobic and transphobic stuff was a problem on the PS2 that is going to be
yeah,
a bigger problem now. Like, are you going to
yeah.
address that?
And gosh, I remember when Golden came out. Like, I was unhappy with the new voice actor for Chie, and
Yeah.
I
Hmm.
remember I forgot his name. I remember one person on the comments saying, "Good, now she won't sound like an old lady anymore." I'm like, "Oh
Oh
man, I didn't
no.
realize we were so divided on the Chie voice
That's right. I
actresses."
thought she was
Uh,
fine, but okay. I also want to say, though, for anybody that hasn't played Persona 3, Reload is really good. And I would wholeheartedly recommend that. If you haven't played Persona 4, and maybe you don't want to play the golden version that came out on, I think, PS4, because I think that got like a slight upres on, it was like the Vita to PS4 upres. Um, Revival is probably going to be a really great place to play Persona 4, because original
yeah,
Persona 4 is on PS2. So, like, I could totally understand if people weren't potentially born yet or playing JRPGs when Persona 4 came out, and maybe don't want to go back to a game like that or don't want to mess with emulation because there's no easy way for you to just scoop up a PS2 game nowadays. Um, uh, I think this might be a really great entry point for people to play Persona 4. So
yeah,
hopefully it's successful on in that regard.
yeah. I mean, no doubt about that. And I think
Yeah.
I think Sega's figured out what a cash cow Persona is, considering they did 3 collector's editions for Persona 5.
Right.
That will
Exactly.
never not annoy me. Sometimes I look up that third one I don't have and think, should I get it? Where in the world am I going to have shelf space for it? My
Yeah,
Persona
exactly.
collection is going to. Anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm
those are
hoping.
my problems, not Persona's.
Yeah, I'm hoping it's good. I'm a little worried it's going to get a little bit buried in a very busy February of next year, but there aren't a lot of RPGs coming out during then, unless like Final Fantasy VII Revelation comes out at the same time, which I kind of don't expect. But I don't think there's going to be a lot there otherwise.
Yeah.
Next game we have here, just got 3 quick ones here. State of Decay 3. We still kind of don't know a lot about this game overall, truthfully. I unfortunately never played the second one. I'm very curious to see how much of an RPG, even if it's an action RPG crafting sort of thing, this one is going to be. We kind of don't really know. The real bummer of it is the studio that is making this game might not even exist anymore after this trailer got unveiled. So, like, I don't even know the state of where this game is going to be at the time. And unfortunately, the video game industry has been changing in a downward fashion very rapidly over the last couple of weeks. So this could even be outdated information as we're saying it into these microphones as it is. So State of Decay 3 looks cool. The curse of 2026 is I just hope it comes out at this point. So next up, second to last, is Minecraft Dungeons 2. Comes out September 26th, 2026. If you didn't play the first one, it was basically like a Minecraft-themed hack-and-slash Diablo-like, with like loot tiers and grinding difficulties and increasing your difficulties and all of that stuff, equipping pets, playing with your friends, co-op sort of thing. I thought the first game was way better than it had any right to be, and they put out a ton of DLC and a ton of post-launch support on that one, so hopefully they'll do the same thing here, and I think these games are cool, so happy to see that they're making another one. And unfortunately, last but certainly least, we got the world's shortest trailer for a very exciting upcoming game. The trailer for which is shorter than this sentence I am saying for Persona 6.
Yeah.
It's literally a shot of graveyard, maybe? I don't even know. Like a shadowy field of tombstones. And then it just pops up with the Persona 6 logo, which looks like the Suicide Squad logo. And that's it. We have no release date, of course. We have no release window. We kind of have no idea of anything. I don't want to be a super pessimist about this because, of course, I'm excited that Atlas is announcing Persona 6. But the idea, though, that Atlas was not working on Persona 6 seems laughable. Like,
Yeah.
of course they're working on Persona 6. That's like the idea that Grand Theft Auto 7 won't ever come out. Of course it'll come out. They'll start working on it after they put out 6. Like, of course it's going to happen. Like, I don't know. It's obviously not a teaser trailer for people like you and me. It's more of a teaser trailer for, hey, you might have liked Persona 5. In case you were worried, yes, we're working on Persona 6. So, it's kind of a bummer because, like, I want to talk about anything about Persona 6 because it's an exciting moment of, like, yes, they're actually working on Persona 6. But then, like, there's even less stuff. Do you remember the teaser for, oh Oh my
You
god.
thinking of 5 with the chairs and
The chairs and the
the
like,
chains?
yeah, the chain and like the ball and chain, and they're like, see you on the PS3 in 2013. I'm like, oh my god,
Yeah.
there's some stuff there. Like, what are we chained to? Are we chained to society's expectation? Oh my god. And then it's like Persona 6 is just like, okay, man. Like, and the only text in the trailer is like, who are you? And it's like, that's Persona. Like, that's like Persona 4 is famous for like, that's not me. Chie no. You know, like that's the thing, dude. But
Yes.
the one thing I have been very tickled by is the number of people online that are be like, all right, after Persona 5, this better not star any high schoolers in this game. It's like, oh my
Oh my
god.
gosh.
You're looking for a very different series if you're not looking for an overwrought high school drama where you also summon demons because you're having feelings. Like, that's Persona, baby. Like, I don't know what to tell you here.
If we're lucky, someday they'll do a Persona offshoot that's like, like Q,
You're right.
but it'll be the college years or
Yeah,
something.
that's right. Persona, the college years. Yeah.
It's not going to be a mainline entry. Like the
No.
mainline entries are always going to be high schoolers.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. That said, this one looks very Shin Megami Tensei, like vibe wise. Like that's
Yes.
really my only takeaway is it looks way darker, but
Right.
I mean the Persona, they're all kind of dark.
True.
Like,
right. So yeah, I'm excited for another Persona 6, but kind of knowing that was going to happen anyway. It's sort of like, again, it's not a trailer for us. We know that's going to happen. It's more of a trailer for people like, oh, I play Persona 5. They're making another one. Yes. Like that sort of thing. So in that regard, I think that's pretty exciting. All right. That's all of our not E3 stuff. That's all of our releases. That's all the games I've been playing, which means we're at the end of our episode. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. If you'd like to visit us, you can do so at pickingupthepixels.com, or we're also available on tvgp.tv. Talked about the Patreon page earlier, patreon.com/e1m1 or e1m1.cash. Musum, where can we find you on the internet?
you can find me at linktree/John Musum. That's linktr.ee/JOHNMUSIM. And you can also check out my music there and buy my vinyl.
There you go. Brand new album, still out. Get it while it's hot. You can find all the places to find me online at janston.com, JANSTEN. I don't talk about it super often because I don't want to like over promote it or anything, but I do live stream every weekday at 9 a.m. Pacific. I've been doing between 3 to 5 hours I'm a variety streamer, and I just do a bunch of stuff. So if you're looking for a very chill, clean, no raging streamer, check me out there. Give me a follow and hang out and watch. All right, I think that's it for this month. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening. We'll see you all next month. Bye.
Bye.